engage and stuff like that. I wish I knew. I wish I knew that magic sauce. Hey everybody, we are officially live. Happy Mother's Day with Oust Now podcast. I hope everyone had a happy Mother's Day. We're going to give it a few minutes to allow some folks to join. About a minute or two. Right? Fair enough? Yeah? Okay. I'm very surprised that they... Interesting. Okay. Hold that thought. Okay, there we go. Okay. Nick's trying to go live on Instagram because for whatever reason, 2 weeks in a row that we've tried to do it, it didn't work. Ooh. Yeah. Okay, sorry. Just making sure it's live. So I've nixed Instagram and I'm like, I'm just gonna have to start using Twitch and maybe it'll help build up a Twitch following. Who knows? I know,
I'm sorry. When you put in the Instagram, did you put the same Instagram? Because I'm able to attach it to Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah, it wouldn't let me do it. I don't know. Like I followed the directions, like doing the stream key and keeping the window open, and it never streamed.
From your computer?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, it said that you have to like open up the browser, go live, grab the stream key, copy and paste it to here, and it just keep the browser open. And once you hit live, it should kind of hop over, and it never did. So I said, whatever. Maybe we can try like to do it on its. Maybe we could do a couple test runs on its own to see if we can get it moving. Yeah, okay. I just like, because I was too frustrated. I was like, I tried it a couple of times and with 2 streams in a row and not kind of transitioning the way we needed to. Like,
that's weird.
Yeah. I think I followed the directions properly. It was just open it up, go live, copy the stream key, paste it, and then once you go live here, wait, do you have to hit live on Instagram too and then hit live on here as well at the same time?
You know, I think you're right. I don't think it works. I've never really tried to test it.
Oh.
I'm sorry. I've never tested it. All I know is it says, hold on.
So it shows as if you are, but interesting.
But clearly we're not. So I was about to say, oh yeah, we got what you call it, just fine, but clearly I guess not.
I think Facebook specifically has always worked as far as I can see. Let me just check it. That's annoying. Like, I don't know. It's like we don't really know. It is what it is. Facebook is fine.
So I love the picture. I love the picture, by the way.
For
the pink, the you and me for the Oust Now live.
Oh, for the live? Oh, right.
Yeah, that's I like it. I love it. Like, oh, I love it.
I was like, hello.
Okay.
You know, one of these days we're going to hire a professional photographer, and that professional photographer is going to take some professional pictures of us, and then we'll be legit. Thank you, everyone who's joining us today. If you are joining us over on YouTube, on Twitch, or Facebook, Twitch is newer for us, so hey, don't forget to follow us there. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? Remember how we said we were going to do a ticker at the bottom that had like all of our contact info so I wouldn't forget? Like our email address.
Oh, wow. I guess we forgot. Be all right.
That's when it happens when you're old.
I'm on here chewing with my mouth open and shit. I need to get my life right.
Please, I will. Let me jot that down as a to do because if I don't write it down, I'll remember like 5 years later, like, oh yeah, I was supposed to do that.
I think that's why you're so patient with me.
Why? Wait. What do you mean?
Cause I forget shit like all the time. I'm like, girl, I forgot. Shit, my bad.
Well, you know when they say if you're joining us, there is when you hit a certain age, there is a level of forgetfulness that occurs because of something in particular, and I have found that that has happened. Like I'll forget. I'm like, pass me that, but I'm looking right at it, and I'm
I
like,
can't think.
what is
Yeah.
that called? Like it was
Mhm.
dental floss. I was like, what is that? Pass me floss. Like I'm like, what the hell is this? Add.
Can you hear those kids?
Uh-uh. Oh no. Oh, now I can.
No.
Okay. And web
It's
to
okay. Go pop this. Me and you can share.
to
Where'd you get
web.
popcorn from?
Okay. Okay. All right, guys, we are going to get started. We know it's Mother's Day, and we are going to talk about mothers to a degree, but it may be a little bit different than one might expect. But before we get started into our official topic, today we released over on YouTube at Oust Now Podcast, we released a brand new series. It's a 9-week series that we have brought forth, which we're both very proud of. And will you do the honors of what's it called?
It is Oust Now Podcast presents This Is Us, and it is all about people of color and their contribution to the world,
Mm-hmm.
to the United States.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and, but the first season, I feel like it's perfect timing, Mother's Day, because the whole first season is about women of color.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the release on this weekend, Mother's Day weekend, just makes sense. It all kind of like fell together, I think.
Absolutely. And I was so happy you were like, let's do Mother's Day. I was like, oh, right. Great
Yeah,
idea. It was really
totally.
perfect. And when things fall into place, they fall into place when they're supposed to, because we were holding on to when are we going to release it. Right. And we were trying to
Yes.
decide when is the right thing. And then you were like, duh, it's Mother's Day. I'm like, oh shit, yeah, duh. um, but we're really excited about it because it is a journey that we're going through, and we're asking you guys to join us in that journey and learning more about our history, which is, of course, American history. So we have drawn the inspiration from a audiobook for we called We Rise, speeches by inspiring Black women. So that's where the inspiration of this series came from. And then we added one very special poet writer to that collection because she's just phenomenal, and we couldn't ignore her contribution to history, to the world, to inspiration, to women. So make sure you're tuning in at Ours Now Podcast on YouTube, because that's the only place it will be available, and the very first episode released today. So in honor of Mother's Day, we all know that being a mom is not always an easy feat, and sometimes we have to make tough choices, tough decisions that not everyone will agree with. And I think sometimes it's easy for other mothers, I've been guilty of this, and other people to judge certain thoughts. But as I've gotten older and matured, I've kind of stepped away from that as you understand more about being a mother. And, sometimes you have some tough choices. So I'm happy that you brought this topic to the table, and I say, hey, let's get into it.
Yeah. So, um, I felt like some people. So when I first stumbled upon the video, I don't even know how I stumbled upon the video.
Mhm.
They be all your business, right? Like anything that you sit on for like a couple of minutes. They're like, oh, let's give her more stuff like this right here, right? So I'm assuming that's how it came up. It came up on my feed. But anyway, so it was a actual, what is it called? A response video
Mhm.
to a young mother who actually decided to give up her kids. And when I was reading the comments, it was very disheartening because a lot of people were really judging her, and I felt like they was judging her very harshly. Because I think it takes a lot for a person to say, I'm not, this is not coming together. I want them to have better. I cannot give them everything that I would like to give them. And so actually saying, hey, I can't do it.
Mhm.
And being able to really stick to it and move forward with that decision. And I felt like, well, I would much rather, especially considering some of the other topics that we have talked about, I would have much rather her say, hey, I can't do this. I want something better for them than to do like some of the other stories that we had to, that we, well, didn't have to, but felt very compelled to do a story on these women who left their kids in the house for how long did that them kids stay in that darn house? Stay in
Months
that townhome? No,
with no
I thought it was
running
like some,
water.
I
I
thought it
mean,
was some years. I thought it
oh,
was some years they was in there since COVID, right?
oh, yeah. I don't remember full details of the story. I can't lie. Sorry, girl. I can't
Yeah,
remember what was that thing. Floss.
it's okay. It's
Don't say
okay.
what.
It's cool. But I'm just saying, like, which would you rather have? Like,
Mhm.
it's like mothers or women, and I feel like especially
Mhm. Yeah.
it's like damn if you do, damn if you don't.
Yeah.
If you whoop them, then they're like, oh, then you don't whoop them. Like, but what's she doing to raise her kids? You know what I'm saying? I listen. I'm not doing a good job. I'm gonna go ahead and turn them over to somebody that I feel like is going to give them sufficient care and give them stuff that I can't provide them with. But when they do that, they're still judged. But then if they keep them and they're not able to provide certain necessities and certain things, then they're like,
You get
so
judged no
it's
matter
like
way.
you can't win. But
Yeah.
I feel like and this is just me personally, I feel like it would be a lot less traumatized children in the world if more mothers would do what she did and be like, I'm not able to do it.
Yeah.
I'm not able to do it. I can't give them what they need. I'm not in the right headspace. I'm not in the right space in life to be able to forget all of that, how we got there. Because a lot of
Mhm.
people was like, oh, well, when did you decide this? After she had three or four or five? It don't matter. It don't matter. That one lady that had them kids in that house had how many kids in the house? She had four. There's only one that wasn't in the house. She had three kids in that house.
Yeah. But
So
yeah, yeah,
I don't
I agree.
understand. I don't understand people. Like, so what? If I don't care if she had 10 kids, if she was like, hey, I'm not doing well at this. I've made some wrong decisions along the way that got me here, but I'm gonna make a right decision and do what's better for them.
Absolutely. And sometimes we would never say that that would be an easy decision.
Right.
Um,
Right.
because I can't imagine any mother would come to that easily.
Right.
And I think that she is, no matter which way she goes, I agree with you. Like she's damned if you do, damned if you don't. No matter which way you slice and dice it,
Mm-hmm.
she is gonna be judged and ridiculed. And I think the unfortunate part is that what most people don't. Mm, let's just hear from her before I kind of go into that.
Okay.
before we go,
Yeah,
yeah.
because I was
Half
about to
I
go
do.
in and we haven't even told them who we're talking
To
about.
start
So
Yeah.
off, let me just clarify
And
like one thing.
before I hit play, this young lady was known as CPS girl. She's not a girl, she's a woman. So I think that name is a little
demeaning.
disrespectful, demeaning. But she goes by the real Amore Lex. And for some background, she went live on TikTok after in the CPS office, where she was literally begging for help because she was feeling overwhelmed with, motherhood. And I think the story originally went viral about a year ago, but it's making its way back for a specific reason, which we'll kind of get into as we go further down into the episode. But she's kind of circling her way back because of a show that she's on, which will be, I think, the season 2 is coming. So, but she made a very hard decision to go to CPS, ask for help, and then she went on TikTok, and it had some really bad repercussions from it as far as her livelihood. Then, of course, judgment from other users.
Mhm.
And, we were fortunate enough to catch a full interview of her, not just clips of her perspective. And we try to clip it together, but while trying to keep this episode in our usual hour. So work with us. We're happy to share with the actual, that full interview, because I think it would help a lot of people understand way more on what led to this, her state of mind, her level of maturity. And so
One
let's
thing, I
just hit
will
it.
never be tired of being a mom. That wasn't the issue. Not being able to provide for them the way that I consider being a good mom. Like, I didn't have the resources. I was working 2 jobs. Like, I was doing the utmost. But it came time to where I'm doing all of this. I'm not getting ahead. I'm not really spending any time with the kids because I'm always trying to make more money. And then it really just got to a point to where like it actually started to fall on my health. Like I actually started having many heart attacks and just things like that. So it was like I tried to hold on to being a single mom, trying to tackle it all and stuff like that until it literally almost killed me. Like my heart almost exploded. So it's either, and that's why in the video I was telling her, it's like, okay, I could either die and they not have shit, or I can take this leap, figure some shit out, and go back for them when everything is good and dandy. Prior to me giving them up, I already had that thought in my head a year prior. And this was when I had that house that was broken into that previous September. That's when shit for me started going downhill. So fast forward to, this house. This year I was actually starting to get on my feet. Things were going good. I had 2 jobs. I was in 2 colleges. Now I'm just in the one college. Like I was really doing my fucking thing. Moved into this beautiful 5-bedroom house, 2 basements, 2 full bathrooms. Like I really like by my fucking self. No Section 8, no none of that. Like I was doing my shit. The fucking landlord, his motherfucking ass decided he was gonna have siding put on the house, which was cool. It was kind of ugly anyway, but whatever. It was big. It was my home on the house. Instead of trying to like actually unscrew the electric box, they tried to jimmy the shit out the wall, caught the whole back of my house on fire. Yeah. Now the work from home job that I had was exclusively on work from home. We didn't have a main office or none of that. Boom. Obviously, lost that job. I wasn't tripping. I still had the other job, and that was actually working with Spectrum. So I wasn't tripping. So literally by the end of this week, boom, here we go with fucking JFS, which is the welfare system. So they go taking my kids off the motherfucking roster, literally for no reason. Like they're trying to say, what'd they say? Oh, they said you finished one of your colleges. Yeah, I did, but I'm still working, which qualifies me for daycare. I'm still in school, which qualifies me for daycare. So why are you guys going based off just the one college? I still have 2 qualifying activities. Boom. So when I lost that, I didn't have nobody to watch the kids. So when I reached out to, my twins' dad, obviously I didn't reach out to when I reached out to the girls' dad, now mind you, I ain't thought about laying with this man. My daughter's about to be 3, in November. I don't want this man. So I call him, I'm like, can you help me? Can you watch the girls or whatever? He's like, oh, well, don't you got me on child support? Don't you got me on child support? So when I put him on child support a year after my daughters was born, he didn't start paying until this year. So and he was only required to pay $196 a month for both my daughters. And he's like, that's taking all my money. And then he's like, well, you're not getting anything outside of that. And it's like, he's like, if you take me off of child support, I could do more for them. And I'm like, I know for a fact that's a lie, because the whole year before I put you on child support, you didn't, no diapers, no wipes, no, not a damn thing. You, even if you didn't provide any of that shit, you didn't even pick them up so I could go to work and, get all that shit. I could do it by my damn self if you watch them. So it's like, so I know you're lying and shit like that. But anyway, he proceeds to tell me shit that don't matter, is that he got another girl and she's pregnant. They about to have another baby. And it was just like, okay, so he's pretty much telling me that he's not going to, help me with my daughters because he's moved on. And I'm like, you can move on. That's fine. I don't want to be with you, but you still have daughters. And like I said, with this third baby dad, it's a couple of times where he did put his hands on me, but I'm not going to make it seem like that man beat the shit out of me and did all the other shit that other ones did.
So that is a little bit from her, with it in her words versus us having to kind of really go through it, because it is her story. And it is making, I believe, and I could be wrong here, I believe that this story is kind of circling back because she's on a reality TV show, which season 2 is coming soon, if I gauged one of her socials correctly. So it doesn't seem like she had a lot of help. Certainly not from the children's father. I can't imagine what $200 a month would do for 2 girls. Like, childcare costs more than is as much as a mortgage payment. I mean, that was true for us. Like, we paid more for childcare than we did on our mortgage. So I can't imagine how much he would have been able to contribute with that amount. But life was life for her. And she wasn't getting a lot of help. And it's unfortunate that it kind of brought her to this decision. And I has, we'll get into her a little bit of her history as we go a little bit later, but this young lady, she has a lot under her belt, outside of being a mother to 5 kids.
I think what a lot of people, I don't think until this interview maybe came out, people realized that she's a victim.
She is. She really is.
And from my understanding, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, but I have heard in the past that when certain things happen in your life that are traumatic, that you kind of stay stuck
Yeah.
in that place, no matter how old you get.
Absolutely. And
you're stuck in that place.
You can hear it, like, I was hoping, like, you can hear it when she talks about what her, how do I say this? Is I don't mean this in a disrespectful way, but you can hear it as she's talking about how she wishes motherhood could be. But I think she's kind of romanticized what it should look like and what it could be like, because I think as an older mother, and maybe I'm looking at it from that way because I became a mother older, but I think most mothers would agree that, there's no true perfect timing or no perfect setting surrounding financial status that's going to get you to an easier path. Like, that's not going to make, like, motherhood easy or parenthood.
Right.
But, like, her outlook is very naive, I believe. And I don't mean this in a disrespectful way, but you can kind of hear it when she talks about it. Like, she's kind of romanticized the idea of motherhood, which we all do. I mean, I think all people do it until the reality smacks you
And
in the
then
face.
they're
And then
here,
it's
and you're
like,
like,
uh, nobody said it's gonna be this hard. Damn it! Why you ain't tell me
I don't care how many damn books you read, you're not ready.
what to expect? Nothing. Nothing can
Not
prepare
a
you.
not a damn thing. And anything they say you expect is bull. Okay?
This is putting it
Period.
mildly. Like those what to expect, all those no, it puts it very, very mildly because what's gonna happen the first time you ever have to discipline your kid? You feel like you just got punched in the ribs. Punched in the ribs, but here you go. You still have to be a parent. You still got to provide for those children. And it kind of seemed like maybe at that moment she felt like she didn't have any other option. She didn't have a lot of support from her family on any level. And then with the children's father, at least the oldest one, literally, I would call a predator. Her two oldest children's father, that's what I would label it.
Period.
I'm gonna say allegedly because obviously whatever, but in my humble opinion, he is a predator. And I think that's where this young woman would, and I would say she's probably about 30, maybe she's 28, 29 now, right? Because she was about 27, whatever. She's probably closer to 30, I think, since time has about a year's passed. And she was about 27 when the girls were born, roughly. So, my math might be off, but she's closer to 30. But even at this juncture, about a year ago, she still sounds very naive when it comes to motherhood. But she's had a lot of traumas in her life and unhealed trauma. Like and this is something I don't know what it's like to be hungry and not fed. I'm not saying we were poor, but we weren't poor enough where we didn't have a meal. Now we might have had a meal. It may not have been all 3 food groups or for whatever the hell you had, but we ate. But it sounds like as a young girl, her family was experiencing something that many of us don't experience. And the things that she's... Yeah, that I was like, I can't even say it. I just can't. So I believe that this is where this young woman is stuck. And I will go ahead and play a little bit from that. And viewer discretion. It is a little tough. It's hard to hear. And I've tried to cut out some pieces, but I think that you'll be able to kind of get a sense of what her experience is. And I hope you don't get, Facebook, sorry. We're still working on community guidelines. We don't really know what's okay and what's not okay, but I think it should be fine for YouTube. But viewer discretion is going to be a little bit hard to kind of hear.
You have to bleep some of the things out, I believe it is all it is, right?
Girl, I don't even know. Probably should have read those community guidelines.
Yeah, you have to bleep certain things out.
Like
the 8th word or...
okay, that's not said at all, I don't believe.
Okay, really? Perfect.
She didn't say that because I don't think she realized it. She couldn't say it. She did, but I don't think that she could verbalize it like someone of our age would, but she's...
I got you.
So with the first two, was, I'm going to say my oldest son, I got pregnant at 15. Yeah, I think I was 15. Yeah, I got pregnant at 15, had him at 16. My second son I got pregnant at 16, had him at 17. They're 11 months apart. So I didn't have time to heal before, No, he was a grown man. He wasn't in school.
How?
But he was hanging out with the rest of us little kids.
Oh, wow.
That's how I met him. The first time... I'm sorry.
No, please, again, take your time, please.
The first time anything sexual happened or whatever, it was like maybe 3-4 days since I've eaten. Well, me and my brother, he said that if he'll pretty much, and that's why I be telling people, like, obviously looking back, I know I'm a victim.
Hindsight is always 20.
Yeah, but I don't give a fuck how it looks. I'm going to tell my truth regardless. So like, until it actually was that point, because he did hold me down. Like, I remember vividly one good time where he held me down because he told me I was going to do it whether I liked it or not. I remember that. But obviously, the very first time I didn't really like fully understand, but I did open that door because he said, if you do this, I'll get you a personal pizza or whatever. So yeah, I did.
Yeah, that was really hard to hear. So that was just really hard to hear. I can't imagine what kind of person would use this young woman's poverty as a way to victimize a child. Um, and I guess it was sad because it's like she's trying to take ownership for a choice that she made as a 15-year-old. And that's like it's heartbreaking, to be honest. Yeah, that's heartbreaking for her to kind of, like, you can tell or see the weight that she carries of shame for for it's not even consent because she was a kid. The weight that she carries, so like I'm trying to choose my words where it's like she's labeling it as she consented, but we know she is not of the age of consent. So the shame, like, you can see it, you can see it. And for I was going to say man, but that's not the word that I would use to describe someone like that. That vile person. Mm. You're muted.
Child, I was thinking to myself, please don't call him no man, because a man don't do that. Men don't do that. Not
No.
men, not men.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know what word to call him. Vile,
Yeah, I was
vile.
study talking too. I might be happy I was muted because I was in my feelings. I was like, we can call that man.
Like, I can't call him that, but that's his gender. But he ain't a real man. And he needs to get his shit cut off.
um, yeah, that's
Mm,
I feel like, so in your opinion,
mm,
just opinion, okay? Because I did see where um some social media stuff,
mm-hmm.
and I don't know if they was trying to say the social media stuff as a way to look at her negatively or not. Like, I'm not really for sure.
I
But I
mean,
don't
maybe.
care. I don't care what she do on social media. Um, I did see that one thing where she whooped that child behind. I don't know who came up on her like that, but they.
Yeah, I mean, I looked at her social and I was like, ma'am, if you're really trying to, if your end goal, and I don't mean this in a judgment way, I just mean in a matter of fact way, if your end goal
Just to get
is
your kids back.
for reconciliation, that's not it.
You're going around the wrong way. Um,
Yeah,
mhm. But
not judgment, just fact.
um, even with everything that you know, do you feel like that was the right decision?
I don't know. In our private conversations, I know we have, I have expressed that, and here's where it's coming from. I have expressed that as anybody, if you genuinely feel that you're not emotionally stable to raise or rear anyone, your own, whoever, to say no is very, very brave. And I respect somebody who says that, because if they know this about themselves, they have the wherewithal to know that I can respect that. That means that you have done some self reflection and you know where you are and you know what you can and cannot do. And there, we've talked about London and Devon, and we have talked about the young girl who was in familial care in North Carolina. I apologize that I can't quote names right now, but we have talked about instances where, this is where I kind of get conflicted. So let me just kind of preface this next statement by that. I get conflicted because there have been instances where parents or family have said, I'm not equipped to do this. And there's not a positive outcome through social services. Now, sometimes there are positive outcomes, and I can speak to that personally because that was me. Um, so again, I don't judge anyone who makes a decision, because if you know you can't, you cannot. Do you go forward and do it, and then you have a negative outcome anyway? Like, you don't have to prove to anyone that you're capable if you know you're not. The young girl in her grandmother's care, her
I was
outcome.
trying to, I was trying to
Thank you.
find it. I was over here on
Thank
Oust
you. I was
trying to
like,
find the baby's name. I'm like, what is this
please
baby's name? I
help me
feel
out
so
because I can't
bad. I'm
remember
like,
her name.
what is this baby's
um,
name?
um, but she
I'm
ended up in her
looking.
grandmother's care, and so so like the outcome was, that young child is no longer here, and that was with familial care. Um, but then you have the opposite, who's like, well, the two children who went into foster care and were adopted, and London and Devon, like, how did that
Mistreated.
happen? So, CPS and foster care isn't always the answer. But I don't judge her for making the decision. But the only thing I can say for certain is for the children, that no matter which way she goes, they will have emotional trauma from it. So giving them up into care, there will be emotional trauma from that. But even if they were to stay in her care, they're going to be
London.
London and Devon. No, the other girl.
Oh
Who
no,
am
no, no,
I?
no, 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 no. Okay, no, not London. Hold on. I'm sorry. I'm still looking. Keep talking. I'm
Okay.
so sorry.
No, that's fine. And it's not, as a child who has been in foster care, I can tell you, like, no matter which way you slice it, there's going to be trauma, and it's going to be either trauma from feeling abandonment from your parent, both of them. Um, so like, there's no win here. There's no win, no matter which way you slice it for these kids, and then there's no win where no matter which way you slice it for her. Um, like, even if she did maintain custody, then what happens if she maintains custody? Is she going to be able to care for them, provide for them? Is she going to be able to feed them and house them? Um, and then if she was already struggling and feeling as if, what comes next for I feel so grateful, but what comes next when you have a mother who literally doesn't feel, and they keep custody, and then they abuse their children? So that's where I'm like, it's a no-win situation no matter which way you slice this, for anyone involved.
I, I think it's not really that it's a no win. It's that people sitting back always seem to have an opinion.
Hmm.
That technically, who are you?
Yeah.
Even me asking your opinion on it. Like, I
Hmm.
mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, thank you. I feel like it's not about any other onlookers. It's really about the kids.
Hmm.
Are they in a better environment? Are
Hmm.
they in a better situation? Are they being provided for in a manner, in a care that she was unable to do? Then that's all I feel like anybody should be discussing, right? Where are the kids? Are they better? Are they in a better environment?
Hmm.
And for people to I think that's what really kind of got me a little pissed off was people that was so judgmental about her making that decision. And I'm like, yo, anybody decided to give up their kids, I'm pretty sure it was like what you said. It wasn't easy. It wasn't like I'm just gonna wake up one morning and be like, the hell with it. That took a build up,
And she said
you
a
know,
year. It took her a year to kind of come to that point.
to come to grips with it. So
Yeah.
she didn't just do it. She actually put thought into it. She actually gave time. They say what? Never make a decision. Never make a, what is it called? It's an emotional decision.
hmm
Don't make an emotional decision. So she
Yeah.
didn't make an emotional decision. Because if she was gonna make an emotional decision, she would have did a year ago.
Yeah.
She did. She actually, it took a year before she finally was like, okay, yeah, this is what I need to do.
Yeah. And then there was things that happened that made it be like, okay. And there's more than we can fit into this one our usual hour. And now while she says that while she says that she wasn't depressed, you can't tell me that she might have been a little bit in denial.
I think so.
um I mean, as someone who has went to intense therapy, like you can kind of see that maybe there's just stuff that that she may not recognize because she hasn't been through the steps of working through it with
Crystal.
a therapist.
I'm so sorry. The
Yeah.
baby's name was Crystal.
Crystal. Yeah.
I'm so sorry. Like 3 years later.
100 years later.
I'm sorry. That was off the
no,
top, but it wasn't. I wasn't gonna stop until I found that baby's name. I was like, oh, what's her baby's
otherwise
name?
would have woke you up at like midnight, like that's her name.
Damn, I remember that name.
Yeah, like oh crap.
Like, who
um
cares now? Shoot.
Now I guess I don't know. Like I wonder. I question. I don't judge, but I question like what would make. I mean, I guess maybe because you need visibility if you feel like CPS isn't really doing their part. Like, what would I don't understand the mindset of going on a live to talk about it. Um, like I do, but I don't because a part of me is like, well, maybe she needed CPS to kind of wake up and say, hey, look, this is happening. But it looked like it was already happening when she was sitting in that office. Do you know what I mean? So I'm a little bit or maybe she was just venting because like this kind of led to like job loss where now she doesn't have a lot of options for. I mean, she's gonna be. She doesn't like, and she talks about this. Like, we'd be happy to share the full interview, and that we were able to
You
kind of
lost a
grab and
job
watch. Yeah, she's
behind this?
yeah, because she went. You go viral on social media. That can either hurt you or be a positive thing, but for her, it was a negative thing. Some of the things that, yeah, according to her, allegedly, she's had job loss that stemmed from her kind of going viral on social media talking about this experience. um so I don't know, it's like a double-edged sword. Like she got what she needed to get her kids care, but then like how she can't even support herself, which was ultimately was the goal for her to put money aside and save so she can support her kids better.
I think I would have kept it private.
Yeah.
I don't know if I personally, but then again, that kind of goes hand in hand with that level of maturity,
mm. hmm yeah.
that level of self awareness. So I mean, I'm not judging her because I TikTok the shit out some shit.
This, I mean, I don't know.
Um,
Fine line though. I mean, she said
but I don't think that would be my topic.
no.
I don't think I would get on there and discuss that. I think if that was a decision that I came to grips with, and that was really what the only option that I felt that I had, right?
Mhm.
Um, I probably wouldn't discuss it with social media. Now, I would definitely discuss it. What I'm saying, I'd probably pick up the phone and be like, girl, check this shit out.
I'd be like, don't do
Um,
it. Maybe that's part of the
um,
problem. She don't have anyone in her
she
circle
don't
that
have
would
a
kind
support
of
group. I
caution
agree.
her and be like, that's not
Don't
good.
do that. That's not it. Let me help. Let me step in.
Yeah.
And then I felt like some of the comments, I was like, it's about time somebody said something because some of the comments was everybody doing all this shit talking about her. I cuss. I'm sorry. I hope we can
No, I
cuss.
was no.
Um,
I hope so too. I don't know. We'll find
Everybody
out.
doing all of this, everybody doing all of this talking and yap about her and her as a mother. But where the daddies at?
Oh yeah. But I
Where they
mean,
at?
one
So
was
we have one was, and that's all I'm gonna say, cause
mhm.
yeah. And then I don't know, I can't remember what she said about the other one. I'll be honest, I don't remember. But I remember she's her saying something about the if my memory serves me correctly, the father of the girls.
Mhm.
I'm assuming it's the youngest girls,
Yes, her twins.
right? Say he done got him a whole new life.
I mean,
I got me a whole new boo thing. I'm having another baby. Wait a minute. Wait. I know what
yeah.
that feels like. I know what it feels like. So wait a minute. Let me understand this right. You having another baby, and you not even taking care of the one that you already have,
I mean,
and
men do it
and
all
you
the time.
and you're gonna tell me about it?
Yeah. That's
Oh,
what he said. He said, I gotta tell my other baby mamas, excuse me. And then when she asked for help financially, then he
mm-mm.
said, I can give you, this is the thing, sometimes these guys, they think they slick. They be like, oh, I can do more for you if you take it off the books with the court system. I'm like, we all know
No,
it's a load of BS.
no,
And she know it too.
no.
But the for her not getting support or asking for support from the oldest daddy, if you watched a few minutes ago, you would understand the why. And then for her second child's father, he was no longer living, allegedly, according to her story. But
Oh,
there
I'm
was,
sorry.
a history of substance abuse that kind of led to why he's no longer here. So her only option was the twins' father, and that look how well that turned out. I mean, the fact that he didn't even attempt to, like, you could, whatever. Anyway, um, so I don't, yeah, like, again, I don't judge the girl, but the woman, sorry, but I kind of would call her based on how she just seems like a young person still, despite her physical age. There was
Can you hear?
parts, yeah, I can.
I'm sorry. You can't. I was about to ask. Can you
Yeah,
hear
yeah.
that? I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
There's parts, and this is where it's one of the other things that I feel like where she is a little bit naive and may not necessarily know, like she said with her, even with the twins, that she was on BC, but then also did the backup plan B. She had a backup plan and under the impression that those two things cancel each other out, but like medically that's impossible. So according to sorry if you feel like I'm talking in circles, but that's like a thing. Those two things don't cancel each other out. So I mean, it seemed like she was making her best attempt to, when it comes to prevention, but sometimes things that are meant to be are meant to be, and um, but I think the one thing that I didn't, there was a part of her interview that I was very kind of concerned with, and that is the part where they were asking her, like, what would she do to maintain or finance their household. And I was like, you know I don't like that you're asking this girl this question, because it's completely inappropriate. And I'm going to try to paraphrase it.
Okay,
It's
I'm
like,
listening.
what would you do? Like, would you um trade certain things for certain things? Sorry. I don't want
Oh, wait a minute.
to I'm trying to talking code so we don't get dinged or whatever.
Wait.
Yes,
So you're saying that he asked her if she would
it was one of the female
market a
interviewers.
body part? Market a body
Yes, and it was
part?
one of the female interviewers that asked her that question, and I was like, "It's no wonder why your ass is in trouble in other parts of your life because for you to even ask that, and I won't go into saying the who,
Who
but that
in the
person
hell asked her that?
they asked the question, and I
Girl,
was like,
can you text me? Who asked
"Oh
her
yeah,
that?
that's right, we got a private chat."
A freak?
She did ask the question, and I was like, "Excuse me, you, ma'am, should have nothing to say when it comes to this." I sent it to you on the private chat, so take a look at that.
Girl,
That's who
I'm
said it. Ask
dead.
her that question. I said,
What?
"Excuse me." Yes, and
Child,
we're not trying to be
sometimes,
cagey.
listen, that in itself, let me tell you something.
Mm.
Sometimes you just gotta look at the source. Oh,
Now, she did give her a really great piece of advice, and I didn't put it here because there was a part of me that agreed to her. Now, I'm conflicted about some of that woman's actions, so I'm not going to say her name here. But there was
okay,
something that she was trying to say to her, like, and I think we probably have to talk about that offline, which I kind of
okay,
agreed with, but then the part of me didn't, because she was kind of cautioning her, and she's trying to be a big auntie, and some of what she was saying was valid,
okay,
but I'm like, you know, I just can't. Okay, I can't. But
okay.
from by the time I think when I got to the original interview, there were a lot of people who were actually in the comments. It's kind of shifted when it comes to being more supportive and understanding that this person is traumatized
I
by
agree.
life.
I agree. I think it was because she finally told. I feel like sometimes when you first see it, you're only getting a glimpse. You're not getting the full story. And I appreciate the fact that this platform allowed her to give the whole
Hmm.
story. So
Hmm.
they're not just taking this of what she said and now we're putting labels on it. Now we're forming opinions off of
Yeah,
this. When this lady, she had a whole life story, and a lot of that was trauma.
very much so. But
And
trauma after trauma after trauma, because there
correct,
was,
right,
yeah, not, yeah.
right, right. So I'm happy that they gave her the opportunity to really kind of tell her truth. Like
Yeah,
she said I don't care how it what she said, I don't care how it looks.
yeah.
I'm gonna tell my truth. And so I
Mhm.
admire her for being brave enough, and I admire her even more for being able to be selfless. I think allowing somebody I think birthing a child and allowing somebody else to provide for that child a life that you cannot, I feel like it's selfless. I feel like, yo, she could have continued the struggle. She
Mhm.
could have continued the cycle. She could have did a lot of worse things to these kids. A lot of people was like, oh, well, think about how the kids feel. How would
Mhm.
they feel if they're in this home and they can't be provided for?
Oh my God, you can have starving kids?
How have they been feeling?
That's not
How
better.
did she feel? She knows what it's like to be hungry. And her
Mhm.
saying, "Hey, I can't do it."
Yeah. And
I,
even
I
before that, she had spent some time in a shelter with her kids, and some of the things that they saw while they were in the shelter, it wasn't pretty. So it kind of exposed them to stuff that she wouldn't personally ever expose her children to. So I would imagine that also played a part in why she might have said, "Damn, I can't even go." Like she didn't have housing because the house burnt down. So then what? I mean, it is, it's a lot. Um, hey, hi. It's the dog. Sorry.
I can tell. I can hear
You can hear
I can hear him.
his little
Okay.
tacos. We
Uh-huh.
just cut his nails. I mean, godly, we literally just cut them. Bud, sorry, 1 second.
For anybody who is on this live Mother's Day, we are discussing, I can't think of the lady's name. We are discussing the young lady that went viral for giving up her kids.
Hmm.
And that's what we are discussing. So anybody that has just joined or just catching us, um, and while my sister's handling that, I'm gonna say Happy Mother's Day and address mine. Hold on.
And I'm gonna go ahead and take it from here. um, you guys have to write some notes and stuff. I'm like, make sure because again, if I don't write stuff down, it's in my head for 1 second,
Sure.
then the next minute is gone.
I get it.
Bud, hang on. Get no privacy. Get out. Give me my hour. um, sorry, distracted. Hashtag mom life. That's what it
Happy
do.
Mother's Day.
um, yeah. I just feel a lot of empathy for her. And for for a lot of the people who are saying, well, how the kid's gonna feel, yeah, it ain't easy coming from a child who's which we've experienced as far as being in foster care. And yes, we do end up. I have had like struggles that I've had to deal with because of that. But do I feel like I was better off? Yeah, I can't deny it. Um, and like just a little bit of history, like my mother was really sick at the time, so it's kind of like, what are you gonna health wise and even mentally she needs some help. So I even as a child who came from that, like while it can be a little bit difficult, I do respect it, and I think I probably only came to that point as I gotten older, of course. But like it's okay to know your limitations of what you can and cannot do.
I agree.
um and yeah, that part pissed me off, like asking her what she would do. Like the girl's been traumatized enough and abused enough to be like, oh well, what would you what
Yeah, I think that's
I'm surprised
what?
the men in the room didn't say, or if there was any
What?
of the women in the room kind of like
Like,
say
chick, what
that's
is
not
you
appropriate.
thinking? Yeah, I don't know what that was. Disrespectful. Yes, I do.
Oh hell yeah. And
Very.
see, that's the
Uh,
thing, because
oh,
if
that's so
someone would
ugly.
say some shit like that, if someone says some shit like that to me, I would have
Girl.
checked her like this, and she didn't. And I was like, you can see where she is in her, you can see where she is in her maturity, because a 15-year-old wouldn't, she's an elder. I'm not gonna, well, depending on the 15-year-old. Let me just say that, right? They, she still was, I'm about to cuss somebody out. She said some shit like that to me.
And what now? Shit.
um,
Why, you know somebody? Shit. The fuck? Damn.
y-
I'm sorry.
no, but like you can kind of tell, like
Uh,
she didn't check her, and
like,
only
is that what the fuck you do?
oh, with all your what is the stuff that the misinformation that she be spreading and stuff like that when it comes to a certain someone. I'm like, you got
Child.
a hard on for that guy. Sorry, we won't say her name, but she's had some legal troubles recently for talking too much
That
about stuff.
mouth.
powerful people, and we're not trying to get on that list.
Period.
No.
Please, Jesus. If I had some
um,
glasses, I'll put them on it. Please, no man. Let me find my little glass. If I'm, let me find my. I don't want no smoke shades. Let me see.
that's right. We don't want none of that.
I found some shades. Wait, I don't
Mm.
want no problems.
But she didn't check in. I was surprised. I was like, listen, ain't no interview worth you trying to be an a-hole to me by asking that question.
Right, that was ugly.
But you can see, like, I don't think, she could use some work on her self-esteem and stuff like that to help build up her confidence to be able to set that boundary real fast when someone tries to overstep it.
Yeah, who would say
Um,
something like that? That is so disgusting.
Only an a-hole, and that woman is. Sorry. Um, um, but I would imagine that this is not something you would expect for us to talk about when it comes to Mother's Day, because Mother's Day is supposed to be glorious and a celebration of motherhood, but you can celebrate hard choices that women
That's
have to
mhm,
make, single
mhm.
mothers have to make. So while this is not like an ode, this is also highlighting the fact that good mothers make hard choices, which can look like her experience. Um, and if you really feel that bad about it, please don't be afraid to like offer some support, put some money on her GoFundMe or something for
Girl,
all the
that part.
naysayers who was
Right,
talking
you
about
got someone to say
what.
what's your contribution?
You gonna help raise them?
Shoot.
You gonna help house her?
Right?
Probably not.
Right. You gonna give me a place to stay? You gonna give me
Yeah.
some
What about
and
that?
I understand that it's nobody else's responsibility.
Hmm.
I'm sorry, girl. I'm
But she
sorry.
does. She seems hopeful about the future. I'll give you a second, and she seems hopeful. And for her sake, even though she's had some struggles when it comes to employment because of her going viral and what like that, she's
Hmm.
kind of had to find alternative ways to earn money. And hopefully,
Okay.
this reality TV show will help, which I'm not airing here. But let's
Okay.
hear a final some of her final words.
I'm still
Okay.
very active in my kid's life. I
If I
still
can
try
get
to do
my
what I can. I still very much visit them. Shit. Obviously, I'm not posting them online because it's already pictures of them from, past pictures and stuff. And obviously, right now, I don't want to post my kids. So, but you'll definitely, maybe some people for sure will definitely in my city say, well, I've seen Lex around with her, walking with her son or something like that to the store or whatever. It was bad luck until the point where I had control over the decisions, if that makes sense. So then after that, it's not even just karma. That's just the reality or the consequences of bad karma or bad decisions. Like in life,
Yeah.
I just want my kids to get the best education, be able to travel or do anything to, like feed and expand their mind. But most of all, I just want us comfortable.
ah okay, I don't know why that clip that ended, but I mean, it was only 50 seconds. Okay, 51 seconds. Okay. Um, but she seems hopeful about the future, which is something that, I hope that she can get the help that she needs, and hopefully she will consider, doing some self-work, whatever that looks like for her, so she can get to a better place for herself, so she can be there for her kids in a healthy way as opposed to what she's able to give them now.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I, I
Um,
agree. And the fact that she's in good spirits about it, like you said, says a lot. And like I said earlier, it's just whatever is in the best interest of the kids. And if
yeah.
she has to, I think everybody's I think family and even parenting is different dynamics for everybody. How I would parent may be different from how how you would parent. You're so calm. You're so calm.
Not always.
Girl, you get so calm. I be like this,
Don't forget Toastergate.
girl.
Strawberry Gate. Wait,
What
Toastergate.
happened to the damn toaster?
It's in the trash.
Girl.
Not always. But like anyone, we are a work in
I,
progress.
I definitely always admired that. I always admired how calm you are. Even when somebody pisses you off, you just kind of, right? It's funny to watch because I know it's going to come. I know it's coming. I'm just like, okay, wait for it.
Just which version you're
Wait
gonna
for
get
it.
can
Right?
vary.
Oh, there it is. There. Like, like like you told that damn doctor, hold up. Wait a minute. That shit stuck out of my mind. I swear to God. He was like, look at my light. You was like, hold up. You was so, I could see it coming. When you started doing that hand wave, you was like, hold up, wait. I'm sitting with it. I'm sitting with it. Oh,
It's
no.
coming.
We're not doing this. I feel like that's you. In most situations, you have a mm, dang this like you have a
Turn that
level
off.
of
'Cause
you
we
have
got
a level of this calm that I truly admire. Like I mean it. Like 100% I admire that shit. I'm like, oh, me, I'm already there.
No, it's not always like that. Like don't let her fool you. Okay, because Toaster Gate is all I'm gonna say. And you can imagine that would not sound
Girl.
pretty because it wasn't. Um, but that took a lot of work, and dare I say, and I will be open and honest and be like, yeah, I went to therapy, and I even went to group therapy to help me work on boundaries so I can
Girl.
set them faster. So while I don't get riled up very often, because I'm like, I have to decide what's going to be important, and drama, I'm not here for it, and that's that. Um, but it can happen. It just doesn't happen very often, and if it does, it's usually an eruption of, yo, I've been saying this crap 100 times, and I'm tired of fucking saying it. That's where you
but
get the ugly.
but I'm sorry. They're about to get ugly right
They're
now.
about to get the ugly. All right, well, we're gonna start. Let's move to the wrap up because I don't want to make the news.
And guess what they was talking about?
Motherhood. Making the news. The judgment.
Um, yeah, y'all, please quiet down a little bit. Um, yeah, I don't forgot my train of thought. That thing messed me up. Oh, you're calm. I appreciate how calm you are. I admire that. That is definitely a skill that I have been practicing.
Mm,
You know,
mm-mm.
um, the okay, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. See how far I can make it. The woosah.
Dude, when we were on the phone and that little thing happened, and I was like, "You little," remember? And I was like, "Is this gonna help you learn how to dot dot dot?" And I know
Let
I
me see.
sounded hurt because I was.
I can see. I can
Um,
see. Dang.
when somebody was doing something that they weren't supposed to be doing instead of schoolwork.
Yes. Yes.
I wanted to
Y'all,
yell and scream. I was like, oh, that's
oh,
not gonna
she's
solve
so
anything.
good.
Damn it.
Y'all, I was like, she's so good at this, and I have more kids than her. Maybe that's why. Cause
Yes.
my patience is like,
Yeah.
um. But yeah, I'm trying to tell you. I'm like, oh, look at that. Okay, okay, that's pretty good. Cause when that situation happened,
Mm. Mm-hmm.
when the dinero,
Mm-hmm. Girl, I don't know. Because I feel like I might have, I don't know what I can say, but I don't know what I don't.
I was just like,
That might send me over the edge. I ain't gonna lie. I cannot tell a lie.
yeah,
That might have.
damn, where did you get this from?
That would have sent me over there. I can't even tell a lie because I know I would have been hollering and screaming. Ain't no way I would have been calling about that. Ain't no way. No.
Girl, I'm pretty sure
I
I
had,
wasn't. I'm pretty sure I wasn't because I told you the neighbor was like, here, just this all I got left. Just
yeah, them.
here,
I
here.
mean,
Um, parenting, it's not for the faint of heart.
no.
And life life will life and have you questioning a lot of things.
Hmm.
Um, and maybe that's why I was upset about all of the judgment. I feel like
Yeah.
people, yes, I feel like it's easy for anybody to be an onlooker,
Hmm.
but
Agreed.
you don't know what people are really facing. Like
Hmm.
had she not got on there and told her story, I'm pretty sure some people would still have that same ugly mindset that they had. I mean, and the fact that they thought that first out the gate, it made me feel some type of way. I was like, yo, you can't judge people for the decisions that they make, especially when it comes to doing what they can to really want the best for their kids.
Hmm. Yeah.
Right? Like I genuinely feel like she wants and wanted the best for her kids, and she knew that whatever her situation was, it wasn't that.
Yeah.
And happy Mother's Day to
All the mamas out there. Nope. All right, now we appreciate
this
everyone
is
who's joined us on this wonderful Mother's Day.
coming to a close quick, honey, because there's about to go down over
Yes.
there.
But even today, I was
Um,
like, man, this little butthead was being a butt today, and I was like, whatever, kid.
right,
Even Mother's
girl.
Day,
Where you
moms
went to
don't
go
have
turn
off.
them kids out? Where you went? Where you went? What's the
But just
what was
remember,
that?
moms don't have it easy. So moms who are, in a two-parent household, moms that are doing it on their own, they have it double time. So don't forget to
2 minutes.
say Mother's
Sorry.
Day to the moms in your life because, hey, even a note of saying Happy Mother's Day can go a very long way for any mom. And that just reminded me that I forgot to tell someone Happy Mother's Day, and I am like mortified. So I got to do that when we get off of here.
Did I forget anybody? I
Oh,
probably
she's
forgot
a
some.
young mom. She's a young mom, and I just, so I have to, yes, it's just,
I think it'd be a good idea if we get off here too.
yeah. Thank you guys for listening. We appreciate your support. Don't forget to check out Oust Now Podcast on YouTube. And don't forget to check out Oust Now Presents This Is Us, because the very first episode did drop today. And that's our special new series, which we'll be releasing new episodes for the next 9 weeks. So check it
Yes.
out. Thank you
And
for
the,
your
the
support and listening.
I'm so sorry.
Sorry.
I'm gonna get my shit together. I'm like, I was excited. I was excited. You know when I get excited, I'm like a juvenile. I, I be wondering where my kids get it from.
Same
Uh,
girl. Keep be looking at me like, really? Settle down.
yeah, you wonder, huh? Okay.
Must be hereditary.
um, what's that? The apple don't fall too far from the tree.
No.
Um, the very first episode is about who?
Oh, the absolute goat. The
Yes,
absolute
yes,
goat of our
yes.
lifetime. And a lot of the women that we talk about is over a span of years, but this
Mm.
woman here,
Mm.
I admire
Yes.
greatly.
Yes.
She is the epitome of grace under pressure. When they go low, we go what?
Hi.
Miss Michelle Obama. So
That's
that is
right.
the very first episode.
Right.
Yes, absolute goat. So we're really proud of that series. And
Yes.
every Sunday at noon is when those new episodes will come out, and it's only on YouTube. So it'll be there. So when you have time, go catch up. Go catch that very first episode and let us know your feedback. We would really appreciate it.
All right. Thank y'all. Time is something that you cannot get back. And the fact that you spent your Mother's Day or evening here with us here on Oust Now podcast, you can't get it back. And so we greatly appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. Y'all have a great night. And I'm about to go stay
Girl,
off
I
the news.
know. Stay off the news. Get off